Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with Chief Ministers today to discuss COVID-19 situation and preparations of vaccine rollout from this Saturday. Health Ministry discusses COWIN software platform with state officials. Guidelines issued for COWIN management. India's war against COVID intensifies. Number of active cases continues its steady decline. Total number of infections with New Britain strain remains at 90. Bird flu concerns in 7 states of Kerala, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Gujarat and Uttar Pradesh. States, union territories requested to increase surveillance and public awareness. US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi asked lawmakers to vote on a resolution calling on Vice President and the Cabinet to remove President Trump from office before moving to impeachment. 210 House members, nearly a majority of the House, have so far co-sponsored the impeachment measure. BCCI takes up the matter of racial abuse against Indian players during Sydney Test match with Cricket Australia, says action needs to be taken against offenders. On day 5 of the Sydney Test, India innings stabilises as it crosses score of 190 runs with 7 wickets in hand. In its 4th inning, India is chasing a target of 407 runs to win the Test. And Bangladesh to be the country in focus for the 51st International Film Festival of India, Asia's oldest and India's biggest festival, IFFI, to kickstart in Goa from January 16th. Good morning and welcome to this bulletin. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with Chief Ministers and Lieutenant Governors before the rollout of the COVID vaccine on the 16th of this month. During the interaction, COVID-19 situation and the vaccination rollout will be discussed. Meanwhile, systems have been put in place and feedback from the 2 dry runs have been discussed at a video conference by the Health Ministry. They also discussed the COWIN software and its operational use. 16th January will see the rollout of the largest vaccination drive in the world. The centre has been proactively carrying activities towards preparing for the nationwide rollout of COVID-19 vaccine in close coordination with states, union territories and all other stakeholders. Prime Minister Modi will connect and discuss the issue with Chief Ministers of all states. The Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare held a video conference with administrators from states and UTs on COWIN software that forms the backbone of the last-mile vaccine administration on Sunday. The meeting was chaired by Chairman of Empowered Group of Technology and Data Management to combat COVID-19 and member National Expert Group on Vaccine Administration. During the meeting, the feedback of the states and union territories on the COWIN software and its operational use emanating from the dry runs was discussed in detail. The Empowered Group chairperson stressed upon the following points. This is an unprecedented scale of immunization. It will be the world's largest immunization exercise. Robust, dependable and agile technology shall form both the foundation and the backup for COVID-19 vaccination. Critical importance of capturing vaccination data in real time, which was non-negotiable. The posting of data on the portal may be online or offline in view of connectivity issues. The caution one needs to exercise to ensure that there are no proxies at all. The beneficiaries need to be uniquely and undeniably identified. States advised to urge the beneficiaries to seed their current mobile number with Aadhaar. This is for registration and consequent communication through SMS. There cannot be any proxies for Aadhaar authentication. Extremely important to clearly identify person who's getting vaccinated and keep a digital record on those who get vaccinated and by whom, when and by which vaccine. The data collection should meet the purpose of facilitating work and that needs to be validated at the field levels. Meanwhile, the states are fine-tuning their strategies and preparations.
We have 5 regional large stores. Similarly, we have every storage facility in every district, that is 30 districts we have. Here in the state storage facility, we can store almost 45 lakh vials of vaccines. We are quite well prepared in Karnataka state to handle this vaccine program in Karnataka.
दिल्ली सरकार ने 89 हॉस्पिटल्स को चिन्हित किया है, जिसमें से 36 गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल्स हैं और 53 प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल्स हैं। तो हमने अभी जो फर्स्ट स्टार्ट किया है वो सारे हॉस्पिटल्स में कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि साइट्स बहुत कम थी। शुरू हमने तैयारी तो 1000 तक की हुई है, तो 89 साइट्स हैं, सारे के सारे हॉस्पिटल्स में हैं और 16 तारीख से इसको स्टार्ट किया जाएगा।
हमारे जो साइंटिस्ट हैं, मैं उनको धन्यवाद करूंगा। सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने ड्राई रन्स वगैरह भी पूरे कर लिए सारे स्टेट्स में, तो अब इसका फ़ायदा जो इंसानियत को मिलने वाला है, उसकी जितनी तारीफ करिए, जितनी उसके लिए धन्यवाद करिए, वो कम है।
The focused efforts of centre and state union territory governments on effective clinical management of the hospitalized cases have ensured sustained decline in India's fatality rate, which is 1.44%. Less than 300 new deaths are being recorded in the country for the past 16 days. India has one of the lowest deaths per million population at 109. India's present active caseload of 2,23,335 comprises 2.14% of India's total positive cases. Active cases per million population in India is amongst the lowest in the world. The number for India is 162, whereas countries like Brazil, Russia, Germany, Italy, UK and the US have much higher active caseload per million population. The recovery rate has also improved to 96.42%. With effective containment strategy, aggressive testing, standardized clinical management protocols based on holistic standard of care protocol across government and private hospitals, the number of new deaths have dipped. DD India. And in Uttarakhand, the Health Department will tomorrow conduct the final dry run for COVID-19 vaccination. State had already conducted 2 mock drills earlier on the 2nd and 8th of this month. Meanwhile, all preparations have been done for the launch of nationwide vaccination drive from 16th of January. Around 140 ambulances have been arranged to be sent to different districts for vaccination. The ambulances can also be used to pick and drop beneficiaries in emergency cases. With the rapidly increasing cases of avian influenza or bird flu across the country, Centre has released an advisory for affected states to contain the spread of the disease along with brewing misconceptions. The measures include focus on cleanliness, proper sanitization and awareness on the disease. So far, the disease has been confirmed across 7 states, that's Kerala, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Gujarat and Uttar Pradesh.
While India is still battling the COVID-19 pandemic, the H5 or avian influenza has also started spreading across many parts of the country. 7 states have so far reported positive samples of bird flu, whereas many states are in the process of testing the samples. Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Kerala and UP have confirmed the presence of avian flu. In the wake of the disease, Delhi has also ordered the closure of its National Zoological Park along with the Ghazipur wholesale market that will remain shut for 10 days. On the other hand, Uttar Pradesh has been put on alert with the recent positive cases of bird flu found in the Kanpur Zoo that will now remain closed for next 15 days.
हमारी सरकार ने, हमारे विभाग ने 24 नवंबर को ही एक आदेश जारी कर दिया था पूरे प्रदेश के सारे जू में, सारे डिवीज़न को, कि जिस तरीके से माइग्रेटरी बर्ड के थ्रू ये फैलने की संभावना बनी रहती है, इसके लिए पूरी तरीके से सबको सतर्क कर दिया गया है। पशुपालन डिपार्टमेंट भी इसमें काम कर रहा है। जिला अधिकारी के नेतृत्व में कोऑर्डिनेशन कमेटी भी बनी है पूरी तरीके से रोकथाम के लिए। और जैसे अभी कानपुर में कुछ इस तरह की संभावना बनी, तो हमने कानपुर को पूरी तरीके से बंद कर दिया है और पूरी तरीके से सैनिटाइजेशन उसका हो रहा है।
कानपुर जू में 10 जंगली मुर्गे की डेथ हुई थी 6, 7, 8 की तिथियों में, जिनके सैंपल, जिनकी बॉडी भोपाल जो IVR जो वेटनरी का सेंटर है वहाँ भेजा गया था। कल रात को उनकी रिपोर्ट आई है, 2 उसमें से पॉजिटिव निकले हैं। रात में ही जू को बंद किया गया है और सैनिटाइजेशन के बाद उसको अगर आगे खोलने की आवश्यकता होगी तो हम खोल भी देंगे।
Many states have been put on alert and an advisory has been issued to respective departments by the centre. The central teams formed for monitoring the situation in Kerala, Haryana and Himachal Pradesh are visiting the affected sites, while control and containment have been completed in both the affected districts of Kerala. The centre is also working towards increasing its awareness among poultry farmers to prevent the spread of the disease in humans. Use of PPE kits have been instructed during the culling of birds.
No, absolutely there is no case of bird flu in Karnataka.
Amid growing tensions with daily developments and increasing positive samples of H5, the flu has severely affected the poultry market in the country. While the sale of chicken and eggs have been adversely impacted, the Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying has taken the initiative to bust few myths about the bird flu. Experts have stressed that when cooked properly, poultry products are safe to consume. So far, no human has been tested positive for avian influenza or bird flu. DD India.
With avian influenza now affecting 7 states, there is a dire need for people to understand all precautionary measures and reject all myths associated with it. Here's more on that.
The Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying has issued an advisory to the avian influenza affected states regarding further spread of disease. Centre has requested state animal husbandry departments to ensure effective communication and coordination with health authorities for close vigilance of the disease status. While there has been no case reported yet of its transmission in humans in India, but precautionary measures are necessary.
Fortunately, though this virus can be transmitted to the human being, but fortunately in our country we have not seen any, there has not been any a single case of human infection or human to human infection. So this is good thing. That's why we should not be more panic.
Even poultry farms need to take precautions like wearing masks and protective gear while handling poultry.
Persons who are visiting the market for this trade of the poultry trade, they have to be careful. If you are visiting a market in the live poultry market like Murga market like that, so you have to wear the gloves, you have to wear the face mask, you have to observe the biosecurity measures.
Experts say that one must avoid consuming uncooked or partially cooked chicken or eggs and cook it nicely at high temperatures before consuming.
We should not stop eating chicken or egg, but the thing is, required thing is that we have to properly cook the chicken and we have to properly boil the egg. Because this virus at 70-degree temperature, this virus gets killed.
Bird flu amongst humans is rare, but it is essential to avoid contact with infected poultry as well as not venture near bird carcasses and immediately report any death to the authorities.
So don't be scared. You have to report to the higher authorities. Higher authority means a nearby veterinary hospital, nearby medical doctors, nearby forest officials. So you report them. But please don't touch that crow. Please don't touch that bird because you don't have to dispose it. The disposal has to be done by the proper concerned officers of the Department of Animal Husbandry.
Sporadic cases of bird flu have been reported at periodic intervals from different parts of the country since 2006. But it is essential not to fall prey to any myths and as well as take all necessary precautions. Meghna Dev's report, DD India.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah will today launch the single window clearance system for coal mines. Coal and Mines Minister Prahlad Joshi in a tweet informed about the virtual ceremony. It is an online platform to obtain clearances for smooth operationalization of coal mines. Bharatiya Janata Party National President JP Nadda will be on a 2-day visit to Assam from today. BJP chief will take part in various important programs and functions of the party during the 2-day visit to Assam. Nadda will address a public rally at Silchar. Later, Nadda, along with BJP National General Secretary BL Santosh, will hold a meeting of functionaries of the BJP Assam unit in Guwahati. He will also take a meeting of BJP Team Assam, which will be attended by senior leaders of the party, including National General Secretary and Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal. On day 2 of his visit, BJP chief will attend a meeting of Vichar Parivar in Amingaon. He will also offer prayers at Kamakhya Temple. With 4 women pilots, Air India's longest direct route flight landed in Kempegowda International Airport in Bengaluru from San Francisco, United States, flying over the North Pole and covering a distance of around 16,000 kilometers. An all-women cockpit crew went on to make history in the Indian aviation by operating the inaugural San Francisco-Bengaluru flight on Sunday. Union Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Puri tweeted and said, "The historic all-women cockpit crew polar flight from San Francisco to Bengaluru makes Vande Bharat mission even more special. The mission has so far facilitated international travel of more than 46.5 lakh people. We continue to reach out to more than 24 air bubbles."
Today is the day we create world history by not only flying the route over the North Pole, by having all women pilots who successfully did it. And it is also amongst one of the world's longest flights. So we are extremely happy and proud to be part of it. And we are extremely thrilled that our government, our airline has instilled this trust in us. And we all did it together as a team.
Some news from the world of entertainment now. The 51st edition of Asia's oldest and India's biggest film festival, the International Film Festival of India, IFFI, will begin in Goa from 16th of January to 24th of January. It will be the first ever hybrid film festival with some events on the OTT platform. The key highlights will include retrospective films, masterclasses by industry veterans, including Shekhar Kapoor, Q&A sessions and film appreciation sessions. My colleague Jyotika Grover reports.
The 51st International Film Festival of India is set to kick-start in Goa in a few days. IFFI couldn't be organized in 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic, and even this year IFFI will be held in a hybrid mode with both virtual and physical experience. Film industry is very much excited for the 2021 edition of IFFI. Cinestar Anil Kapoor tweeted, "It's that time of year again. So proud of IFFI Goa. Flying the flag for cinema globally, always something to look forward to. All the best, Team IFFI." Anupam Kher also tweeted that he is looking forward to the IFFI, which he said is leading the way in Asia and the world. Actress Dia Mirza also conveyed her good wishes to 51st IFFI in Goa. She tweeted, "Wishing International Film Festival of India, Goa all the very best for its 51st edition. The biggest film festival of India is all set to commence on the 16th to 24th January 2021. IFFI has announced a lineup of programs that will be showcased on the OTT platform during the festival. This year IFFI will organize a few of its events on the OTT platform for its audience. The film festival will open on January 16th with the Indian premiere of the movie Another Round by Thomas Vinterberg. A total of 224 films from across the globe will be screened during the festival, which includes 23 feature films and 24 non-feature films. The festival will close on January 24th with the India premiere of the historical drama Wife of a Spy by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. Jyotika Grover's report.
And the film fraternity is quite excited for the 51st edition of International Film Festival of India, IFFI. Director and producer Subhash Ghai extended best wishes to the 51st IFFI, expressing, in fact, those are the tweets that came in. Subhash Ghai wishing Film Festival of India, IFFI Goa. He says, "My very best," commencing on the 16th to 24th of January in Goa, showcasing some of the finest cinematic works from across the globe. That's filmmaker Subhash Ghai tweeting and saying. Also, actress Shilpa Shetty saying, "Such a proud and happy moment, not only for me, but also for each one of us." So compliments and good wishes pouring in for International Film Festival of India. Those are the tweet messages that have come in. The country in focus for the 51st International Film Festival of India this year is Bangladesh. The country in focus is a special segment that recognizes the cinematic excellence and contributions of the country. This section at the IFFI will showcase 4 films, including Jibonduli, Meghmalar, Under Construction, and Sincerely Yours, Dhaka. Some international news now. The United States House this week will take up a resolution to impeach President Donald Trump for the second time in less than 2 years over his actions encouraging a mob that stormed the Capitol. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi told lawmakers late on Sunday that they would first vote on a resolution this week calling on Vice President Mike Pence and the cabinet to remove President Donald Trump from office before moving to impeachment. The House is set to vote on a resolution urging Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. The 25th Amendment allows Pence and the cabinet to remove the president if he is unable to discharge his official duties. Nancy Pelosi said in a letter that House will proceed with bringing impeachment legislation to the floor. To late Sunday, 210 House members have co-sponsored the impeachment measure, which is nearly a majority of the House. Meanwhile, days after the deadly violence at the United States Capitol, security at the Queen Theatre in Wilmington, Delaware, where U.S. President-elect Joe Biden has been holding meetings and making statements, appear to be bugged up. Yesterday, as Washington prepares for Biden's inauguration this month, U.S. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said on Sunday that the threat from violent extremist groups remains high after deadly storming of the U.S. Capitol last week by supporters of President Donald Trump. In a statement, Schumer also added that the threat of violent extremist groups remains high in the next few weeks, particularly critical in democratic process with the upcoming inauguration at U.S. Capitol. Last week, President Donald Trump's spokeswoman, Kelly McEnany, said that the entire White House condemns the violence at the Capitol, adding those who broke the law should be prosecuted. Engine from the Indonesian passenger plane that crashed into the sea shortly after taking off from capital Jakarta was recovered on Sunday. The Boeing 737-500 with 62 passengers and crew was headed on a domestic flight to Pontianak in western Kalimantan on Saturday before it disappeared from the radar screens 4 minutes after takeoff. The wreckage of the turbine engine of Sriwijaya Air Flight SJ182 was taken to the port of Jakarta and inspected by officials. The 2 black box flight recorders from the Boeing have also been located but have yet to be recovered from the water. A large-scale search operation is underway off the north coast of Jakarta to retrieve human body parts and remains and the debris. The flight had 50 passengers, including 10 children and 12 crew members. Now, as the engine of the plane got recovered, Indonesian authorities on Sunday located the black boxes of the Sriwijaya airjet. In a video posted by Indonesia Navy, a diver is seen pointing towards the pieces of debris from the plane on the seabed of Java Sea. Indonesia National Transport Safety Committee chief said that location of the flight SJ182's 2 black boxes had been identified. Moving on, some more international news. Nationalist politician Sadir Japarov won a landslide victory on Sunday in Kyrgyzstan's snap presidential election, which was triggered by collapse of the previous government. Japarov has won almost 80% of the vote in the Central Asian nation, which is closely allied with Russia, as showed in the preliminary results cited by the Kyrgyzstan's Central Election Commission. It means there will be no runoff. More than 80% of voters have also supported a proposal to reform the constitution to give president greater powers at parliament's expense. The planned reform, if successful, will make Kyrgyzstan's political system similar to that of fellow ex-Soviet and most ethnically Turkic neighbors, with fewer political freedoms but also less unrest. Polls for the presidential place were held on the same day as voters cast their ballot, as Kazakhstan held the nationwide parliamentary election. A historic heavy snowfall hit Japan's northern prefecture, stranding hundreds of cars on Sunday. More than 1,000 vehicles were stuck at its peak on a motorway running through the country's northern prefectures, including Niigata, Toyama, Ishikawa, Fukui, and Shiga. Japan's self-defense forces are deployed to relieve of the drivers. Heavy snowfall are endemic in northern part of the country, especially those prefectures facing the Sea of Japan. but most of the observation points in these prefectures are seeing more than twice the amount of snowfall compared to its average. And TOYAMA city saw a new record, 88 centimeters of snowfall fell within 48 hours. Let's now take an update on the COVID-19 pandemic from across the world. As of now, more than 9 crore 6 lakh coronavirus cases have been reported worldwide, with over 19 lakh 42,000 casualties. Over 6 crore 47 lakh people have recovered from the virus. The United States continues to remain the worst hit country by the pandemic so far. Has reported over 2 crore 29 lakh cases of the virus, with the death toll surging past 3 lakh 83,000. Brazil follows US in terms of death toll with 2 lakh 3,000 casualties. Some sports update now. ICC has condemned the incidents of racial abuse against Indian players at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Cricket Australia has apologised for the incidents and promised strictest action against those responsible. A parallel investigation by cricket officials and Sydney Police is undergoing.
On the fourth day of the third test between Australia and India at the Sydney Cricket Ground, play was halted for a few minutes after the Indian players complained of racial abuse from the crowd. The play was stopped for more than 10 minutes on Sunday morning as Indian player Mohammad Siraj complained to the on-field umpires. After Siraj pointed to a section of the SCG crowd from where the abusers were being hurled, security officials acted quickly and at least 6 people were evicted from the stadium. In a statement, the International Cricket Council said that it strongly condemned the reported incidents of racism during the ongoing third test between Australia and India at the Sydney Cricket Ground and have offered Cricket Australia all necessary support in investigating the incidents. Following the incident, Cricket Australia released a second official statement condemning the entire incident. Cricket Australia tweeted, "We have launched an investigation in parallel with NSW Police following a crowd incident at the SCG today. The investigation on the incident is undertaken by the Australian Cricket Committee along with the New South Wales Police." The report was also issued on Saturday when the BCCI officially lodged a complaint with the ICC. As series hosts, we unreservedly apologise to our friends in the Indian cricket team and assure them we will prosecute the matter to its fullest extent, said Sean Carroll, Cricket Australia's head of integrity and security. Indian spinner R. Ashwin has reacted sharply on the racial remarks and demanded stern action against the culprits.
They have been quite nasty, they have been hurling abuses as well. But this is a time where they've actually gone one step higher and used racial abuses. And like we already mentioned, there was an official complaint that we lodged yesterday, and the umpires also mentioned that we must bring it to their notice as it happens on the field. And then they'll be able to take action. And it is definitely not acceptable in this day and age where we've come through, we've seen a lot, right? We've evolved as a society, and sometimes I think this roots back to the upbringing and the way one sees. So this must be definitely dealt with iron fist, and we must make sure that it doesn't happen again.
Cricketer Virat Kohli has also expressed sorrow over the racial abuse. Virat Kohli tweeted, "Racial abuse is absolutely unacceptable. Having gone through many incidents of really pathetic things said on the boundary lines, this is the absolute peak of rowdy behavior. It's sad to see this happen on the field. The incident needs to be looked at with absolute urgency and seriousness, and strict action against the offenders should set things straight for once." This is not the first time that Indian cricketers have faced such racial abuse in Australia. Kohli himself was at the receiving end of some of the choicest abuses during the 2011-12 Test series. Spinner Ashwin also faced similar abuse on tour to Australia. It's high time that stern action is taken in racial abuse cases and a definition is made by the ICC code on it. DD India.
Meanwhile, the BCCI has taken up the matter strongly with the concerned authority. BCCI Secretary Jay Shah spoke to Cricket Australia Chairman Earl Eddings and expressed his concern over the incidents, and both agreed that action needs to be taken against the offenders to send out a strong message that racism and discrimination do not have a place in the great sport and in any walk of society. And now on to the update on the Sydney Test. India hopes of saving the ongoing third Test match against Australia. It relies on the shoulders of Cheteshwar Pujara and Rishabh Pant as the match heads towards an exciting finish. Day 5 started off with Nathan Leon registering the wicket of Ajinkya Rahane. India were at 206 for the loss of 3 wickets at lunch break. The series currently is level at 1-1. And with that, we conclude this bulletin. Namaskar.